What's going on, guys? DJ here, and then you got
Xavier Span, aka the Dark Knight, aka the Jesus Warrior.
let's go. And I think this is definitely long overdue. We've been talking about like just actually us both coming together and then talking about like the journey and YouTube and Instagram and things like that. So it's kind of surreal to see it happen. But I think the topic we're gonna talk about today is just pretty much the journey of getting to know God and then before and then the identities we had. Because I think personally I think a big misconception about finding faith is that we have to be this person who has our life together, in order to follow him. Like we have to, get rid of drinking right here and there, get rid of smoking right here and there to yeah, okay, now I'm a follow God. But like the thing is, he just totally transforms you while in the process. Like there's no point to where you just began and then the next day you just different person. Like it's a journey, and then like we're not perfect people. We're not these. I don't like to be called a role model personally. That's just me because I know like I'm just a normal person. We're all made of flesh. We're all born in sin, but I mean Jesus changed that every day for us. What do you think?
Jesus is come as you are, bro. Just come as you are. I always tell people, you don't gotta be performative for God. Um, the ones who were very performative were the ones that actually wind up killing him. So, I think in your journey of identifying God, it all starts with what are you willing to leave behind that doesn't really serve him or that doesn't really come from his love or his grace or his mercy. Uh, come as you are, but just because you come as you are, don't necessarily mean you're going to stay as you came. And God is love.
Yeah, for sure. And I think definitely is you have to have that open growth mindset. And I mean, even for me, I was afraid because I didn't know who I was going to be in the process of me, giving my life to Christ. I didn't know everything that you're so accustomed to. It's like imagine going right your whole life, and then all of a sudden you just got to go left for some reason. You're like, I don't know what's over there, right? You're afraid and everything like that. But I think once you make that decision, your identity changes. Like for me, it was worldly things. It was smoking, going on late night drives. Personally, I still love late night drives, but I just don't smoke anymore. And it's I think another big misconception is that you just have to stop having fun. Now, the only thing about being a believer and going through a serious walk of picking up your cross is like, yeah, you have to deny your flesh daily. Instead of going out as much because there's so many things like lust, temptation, all those things. Like, yeah, you're gonna have to deny yourself for that. But that doesn't mean you can't have fun. I mean, I still have fun. I just do it in a different way, and I build like I'm a part of a community. I'm a like fellowship, brotherhood, things like that.
I don't think I think even within I think Christian culture um has made it a very prominent part, something that you can't avoid. Um and it speaks out very loud and everyone goes through it and everybody it's inevitable. I think everybody will either go through it or they'll witness it where like they become very like religious based, almost like they associate every little thing with um God. And what I mean by that is like they start associating how they look in terms I'm not saying dressing modestly, that's what it commands us to do or whatever. But maybe you feel like you better than they because you got on a suit and tie. Or maybe you feel like you better than those around you because you use big words that you only can find in the dictionary. Or maybe you can't have fun because people who have fun can't see the greater things in life because we need to be focused on when we die and we got to go to heaven after. and I don't want to go to hell like the rest of these scums of the earth. I don't think that's the right approach
It's
to
not.
go about it.
Because when you think like that, you're leaving people behind. You're not actually doing what he called us to do. You're not really spreading the good news. You just worry about yourself. You're in comparison with people who you're supposed to be in fellowship with. And I just I just it's weird because it's like a lot of times we have those moments to where we're just like it's it's not easy personally. I mean, like, I'm pretty open, but it's like a lot of times we all have struggles, right? We all have struggles when it comes to faith and our identity. It's like nobody really knows who they are. Every day you still finding more bits and pieces about yourself, and it can be very, very, like, terrifying, honestly, because it's like when you actually make those commitments and just decide to be somebody totally new. Because when you in a scripture, it says that when you give your life to Christ, you are born again, you are a new creation. And it's like, I know for me, I was like, dang, like, what does that mean? But it's a verse. You just want to go to a verse too? Oh, that
No.
is me. But it's a verse that I want to go to. And I think for me personally, this verse throughout my whole walk has definitely been like my light at the end of the tunnel. Um, John 16:33. Here on earth you will have many trials and sorrows, but take heart because I've overcame the world. I said Jesus. And I think if you keep that mindset, if you keep those words close to your heart and you truly believe it, you're gonna realize what he's saying. Like, Jesus wouldn't say that if he knew like life was sunshine and rainbows. Like, no, you gonna go through some stuff, and don't be afraid. Like, and embrace that, embrace the journey, embrace the trials and tribulations. Say you did it, say you're going through it. Show your cross. Don't just pick it up, but show it to people. Like, show the fruit that you have from struggling, because you got to think Jesus overcame, I can't even say a number to times of what we go through, but that's our role model. That's who we look up to.
If you were to tell a beginner, other than what you just said,
Yeah.
but like a beginner that's starting to find God, a person like when we were finding him and everything was just doing a whole 180 to a 360. When what would you tell a beginner that's like, bro, this is like
Yeah.
just like you read in John, like what would you tell them? They're like, bro, I don't even know what's going on right now. Like I read what you just said. I read that scripture, but it just feel like God is taking everything from me. Like my whole life is doing a whole 360 and it feel like he just snatching everything from
Yeah.
me. What would you tell to a beginner like that?
Yeah.
Like he making me suffer. Why? What would you tell
We went through that, and we had the same thoughts. But the thing is, it's like God can't put you in a better position without taking you from the one that you're in. The position you in is broken. The position you in of a toxic girlfriend or a toxic boyfriend, living situations, whatever job situations. God can't take you to the path He has for you if you're still caught up in the same thing. But with you being in the same thing, it's like you're accustomed to it. So now everything's taken away from you, but the stuff that was never yours is being taken.
them?
That life that you living right now, that was never yours. That was never what God had for you. God didn't want you in this broken place where it's violence going on. God didn't want you in this place to where you see sirens and it's always dilemmas and trauma. Like, God don't want you there. He wants to protect you, and He has plans for you to prosper. So that when you feel like God is taking everything away, no, He's not taking everything away. You're just moving to the path He has for you. You don't know what's down at the end of the road, but right now you just see things molding, like every day that we wake up, it's it's pieces that's God put in place for us that we don't even see. Now it hurts in a moment, yeah, it sucks because you're so accustomed to the life that you're living. You're like, why is this happening? Why is this happening? But you don't see like the transformation of like the progress you're going through while those things are happening. You don't see like now, um, let's say for example, like whatever, like let's whatever's being you think is being taken away from you now 2 weeks down the line, you're not even thinking about it no more. Or let's say if you is, you're not even thinking about how you want better for yourself now. Like I even for me, like it was so many things. I'm like, okay, God is punishing me. That's what I thought. I'm like, okay, I waited too long to give my life to Christ. Now I feel like I'm being punished for being time away when I was totally wrong. Totally wrong. Totally, totally wrong. Like, no, it was he was molding me. He was you in order to grow, you have to suffer. Honestly, in order to get a six pack, you gotta train your core. Like in order to get in shape, you gotta go through some type of endurance. You gotta go through some type of growth. You gotta go through some type of season in order for that growth to happen. In order for that life that God has for you to happen. And if you aren't somebody who's like me personally, I don't like pain. I don't. I'm used to it now, but I don't like pain. So if you're somebody who don't like pain, then be be in communion with people. Don't have a hardened heart. Talk to God about the pain you're going through. Like tell him like, hey Lord, why is this happening? Because he's gonna show you. The book in Job, he gonna show you what it is. And like that, he gonna show you. The thing is like you just it's hard to trust the unknown, right? Because we don't know what's gonna happen, but at the same time it's like what does faith mean? Faith is the works of knowing something that hasn't happened yet because of belief in him. What about you?
If you think, no, I got another question. Do you think this this might be like a weird question.
No weird question. You know me.
Do you think following the Bible is hard?
Yeah, 100%.
So if a beginner was like, uh, why do you think beginners or people who don't have Christ think the Bible is just a bunch of rules and it's fake?
Basic instructions before leaving Earth. The following what's in the Bible is hard because us as humans don't give ourselves grace. Like is not is treating people good hard? No. Like in the Bible, there's instructions to where it just says love your neighbor, things like that. Like what makes it hard is us, not what's in the book. Us as humans, we are our hardened hearts, our emotions are quick to anger, things like that. That's what makes it hard because we're all human. We all have emotions, but when you actually learn and come into agreement with what's in the word, it's not hard. It's not hard for me to not hit him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Don't do it. Right? It seems it's that it gets easier like through the matureness of your journey. But early on, it's like, oh, I can't go to the club no more. Oh, I can't get drunk no more. Like what? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's but the thing is, it's like what makes it hard is the grace that you put on yourself. Because when you come to God with repentance, He forgives you. Now that's not to say just abuse it, but like He forgives you, but we don't forgive ourselves to where it leads us down the spiral of sin. So to answer your question, yes and no. Like what's in the Bible, it isn't hard to follow. It's just to show the fruits of your labor, to show the fruits of the spirit, to be patient, quick, not to anger, things like that. But when it comes to what makes it hard, is ourselves, if that makes sense.
I think from the outside looking in, if you are a person who has never known God for real, me personally, I don't think you can just pick up a book and just follow it. I think what makes I think what makes the book or books like more believable and more you'll be more willing to follow it is your interaction with Jesus. When people say it's about relationship instead of religion, say what you want about the book. The book is full of religion. Say what you want. You aren't going to be able to do
If
what
you don't
the
know.
book says if you don't have a relationship.
Yeah.
You're going to look at it. Why would I do something for someone that do all these things? You're telling me
You don't
you're going to
know.
do this for me. And I don't know you.
For real. And then it's like, how, what's your view on authority, right? Because if you're someone who has like issues with authority, like people like me, I don't like people telling me what to do. So it's like that can slow growth down as well. But exactly what he's saying, if you don't have a relationship, then it just sounds like it sounds like every other thing you hear, right?
Sounds like just a bunch of rules in a rule book. Like if you've never experienced Jesus before, of course, the Bible sounds foolish. Sounds like limiting.
Right.
Like, but
But once you know,
once you know Jesus,
and you read it, it's
yeah,
like it goes hand in
yeah,
hand.
you can't manage to shape your way by how God commands you to shape the way you're supposed to be with this help without knowing the person who
Yeah,
used his prophets to write the book.
yeah,
So if you think you just about to just open up a Bible and be like, "Oh, I'm saved now," it's not really. It doesn't. You can't have one without you can't
you
have
can't.
one without the other. But you need God first in order for you to evolve into the person you need to be to gain the strength that He gives you, so you can make the initiative to read His living Word. If you aren't doing that, if you don't have a relationship with God, if you don't have a great community who's encouraging you, showing you love so you can operate in these ways, there is no way that you can even pick up a Bible and read it and say, you know what, I'm going to do that. That doesn't say you can't pick up the Bible, read something and be like, you know what, I resonate with that. But that's something you read. When you get a relationship with God, everything you read in the Bible is something you receive. There's a difference between reading and receiving. If you don't know God, there is nothing that I can tell you, nothing that I can show you. I can't hug you. I can't do any of these things. And you will receive what I've received due to my heart being open and not being so stubborn.
In a
If
flow
you
state right now. Chat, he in a flow state.
no, I'm just saying, like, if you don't know Jesus in that aspect, there's no way you're gonna be able to pick up a Bible
Yeah,
and try to do what it says. I didn't ask you to be perfect. Jesus didn't ask us to be perfect. He said to chase perfection. That all that means is to try. You can't be who God wants you to be if you don't try. God isn't a genie. As much as he could operate like that if he wanted to, it just abandons everything that he stands for and then abandons, like my brother said earlier, faith is the things not seen but it's hope for. Like that's faith. So if you don't have God, therefore you don't have any hope in changing and opening up that word and being like, you know what, I want to be this. You know what, I want to be such a loving person. And due to me, because we follow Jesus, I believe Jesus is the way, the truth, the life. And I have never loved more, got so much wisdom, knowledge, so much love to express, not only receive, but to give until I put my life in his hands. And once I did that, life was just way better for me to, communicate with others. Honestly, I became more of an empath. Like I've never thought I would go out in public. And he actually did it. We would go out in public and start praying for people. Like I never thought I would do any of that stuff, laying hands on people. like just asking him, like just being as empathetic and giving our hearts up because we love a lot, we love hard. Never thought we would be able to do something like that ever until we gave our life to Jesus.
It's like if you don't have that relationship, you just read, and it's like you don't believe what you read. Like he was saying, like you can read a deep verse about planning in tears of joy. You, oh, this sounds good. Then 2 days later, you back to the same emotion of the same thing. Like you actually have to have that encounterance with him. You have to, like, I for me, I like, don't get me wrong, like I read before, like, long time ago when I was younger and stuff like that, but I didn't fully like give my life to him until I knew him, right? Until I had that encounter. So I'm like, okay, boom, like everything, like you felt it, you knew he was in control. And it's like if you haven't had that yet, it's something to where you have to seek out to him. Now I feel like with I'm this is just me, but there's times to where he pulls you, and there's some times to where you have to seek him. Like before you finna lead yourself into like destruction, that's when he pulls you. But let's say if you ain't put yourself in that situation because you just somebody who's just stagnant, you gotta, hey, get on your knees, look up to the sky and pray. Like it's because once you have that moment, it's like that's when everything, all the gears start clicking. You know what I'm saying? So
Jesus will never expect you to do something without him showing you he exists first. He wants you to take a big leap of faith. Don't get it twisted. You can go through the Bible and see evidence of that. Even back then, where Moses was alive and Job, I mean, they had to take big leaps of faith to know that God was real until He revealed Himself to them. But like, you reaching out to God in due time, if you knock, the door will be answered to you. That's what it says in there. I believe in it.
Mark,
It's is it Mark or Matthew? Is it in both?
it might be in both. I think
Isn't
I'm.
it? Like it's in one of
It's
those, and or both of those maybe. I
maybe
don't know.
both. It's one of the M's for sure.
Yeah, but
I think it's
he will never, if you're knocking at his door, he wouldn't expect you to do something, just go out in the world and do it without him identifying himself to you to make it more believable. Oh, wow, I did just get blessed. Something that I can classify as a major coincidence. Coincidence? I've been knocking on his door and he finally answered in some strange way, weird way that you never experienced before. And due to that, now you're like, oh, I can go do it now. I have the strength to let this go. I have the strength to walk through this door. I have the strength to take this opportunity. I have the strength to speak in public. I have the strength to let my emotions out. I have the strength to pray for my brothers and sisters. I have the strength to whatever. Maybe you scared of freeways or something. I don't know. And you now you got the strength to drive on a freeway. Like, yeah, hey, it don't matter. Maybe.
anything.
And literally anything.
But the thing is like during that season, God isn't going to complain. Like God isn't going to bless a complaining person. You can't walk one way, but like tell people to walk the other way. Like you can't be for him but complaining, right? It's okay to be like, bro, what's going on? Like you're gonna go through life, but you can't praise him and complain at the same time because he ain't gonna bless you like that. You have to have your mind made up straight. Like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. You can't be 1 foot in, 1 foot out, stuff like that. But it's not to say like it's just gonna happen that way. No, I don't think anybody was just right. Like, because there was times before, like even with me, I was lukewarm for a moment. Like I was seeing it, I was receiving it, and then like you had that moment to where you was like, okay, I gotta get this. I gotta do it. Like I just can't. I don't feel him enough because I'm moving two ways. What verse is that? You know what I'm
The
talking
what, 1 foot in, 1 foot out?
about? Yeah, what verse is
I
that?
can't remember off the top.
Oh,
I'm gonna look it up though.
it's in my head, but I can't think of it right now.
Look it up.
And I feel like it's Matthew too.
Is
Um, I'm gonna get mad, bro, if I can't get it. Let's see.
it?
It's
Revelation?
let me see.
I know, well, this is NLT, but I know all the things you do that you are neither hot
A
nor
coral.
cold.
Okay, yep,
I wish that you were one or the other.
yeah, yeah.
Or yeah, or you're
It's the
thinking
second
about
one.
Matthew 6:24, where it says, "No one can serve two masters, for you will hate one and love the other. You will be devoted to one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and be enslaved to money
You
or love the world." Basically,
you can't
it
love
says
God.
that. Ooh, it's another one.
Oh no, go.
Ooh.
Hey, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No,
I gotta find it though.
okay. I was gonna say like you can't your actions and your fruit have to show like you can't be this person. I'm not gonna say you can't because I'm never gonna say that, but you have to be somebody who is gonna show that. Like even on dark days, like your faith still has to represent who you are as a person. You just you know what I'm saying? Even if days where you just lacking faith, rely on people. Like I went through my journey literally with just him. And we're both like we feel each other's emotions and sometimes it's like we both down. So it's like, all right, bro, who gonna lift each other up? We were like, all right, we just gonna fast or pray or go to the gym or something like that. Like, and hopefully, he just work within us. But like,
Mm,
have people, Go ahead.
mm, mm.
He done warmed up.
It say. Oh, I got like tears in my eyes. Real talk. And John 15, 19, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It say the world will love you as one of its own if you belong to it, but you are no longer part of the world. I chose you to come out of the world, so it hates you. So kind of like what he was saying, right? When 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 like, oh God, it feels like everything is crashing down and nobody like me and I'm going through a bunch of like my world is shaking. Your world was shaking because you didn't belong in it. Your world, you earthquaking, your mind sprinting. God is a God of love, not a God of anxiety,
Or
not a
destruction.
God. Those are spirits. Those are spiritual entities that want us down. It says in the Bible, "For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but we wrestle against basically I'm paraphrasing, but the evil spirits of the unseen world." Right? Though that's what it says. And so no wonder when your world is shaking or you're at a point in your life when your anxieties are super bad or your life is just thumbs down, you know what I'm saying? Your
Yeah.
world is just shaking. You don't belong in it. But what happens when you give your life to someone who truly want it? What happens then? And then all of a sudden your life just start flipping. What you was about to say?
I got a question, and it ties into that. When you gave your life to Christ, what did it look like? What did you see once you did that?
Everybody chopped. Everybody dipped. Everybody, people who didn't belong in there. He didn't even take some of them like he took out. But the thing that I'm going to explain is that when you think of a world, you think of a globe. You think of a just like Earth. It's a big ball of everything in it. Sometimes God not gonna just. Sometimes he gonna snatch you out and put you somewhere else. That's what it looked like for me. I don't really have any like friends, like people who are really devoted to following Jesus. Like my life went from disaster to beauty. I went from trying to seek validation from the world who doesn't love me to now being in love with my own authenticity that God created me to be and using that to express glory to him and to the world, obviously. And whereas before I even got there, life wasn't really I didn't really know what I was identifying. I honestly didn't know what God was. I just knew in front of my eyes, my life was just changing. Like everything. Like full of blessings, full of things that he just did it because he loves us. And then things, even something small is like that I'm grateful for, by the way. It's honestly not a small thing, but getting a new car or something small, materialistic compared to, you know, like other blessings. Like those are like external blessings, like stuff like that. Like, but in comparison to all the big stuff they used to do, like I remember like my life would just be full of blessings and then full of people and full of things that were just very chaotic. And in order for me to realize who Jesus was in the first place, even when I didn't, and I wasn't into my tarot card readings, and I wasn't into the stars, and I wasn't into crystals, and what's it? Is it the naked eye, the deep bone, or even the grand risings, and all them. I had to go through struggles in order for me to even find Jesus in the first place.
He's in there for sure.
You got to go through chaos in order for you. And it's literally, God doesn't like that. He doesn't like putting you through that. He doesn't even like allowing you to go through that. But it builds you.
You're stubborn.
And, yeah, and it makes you rely on him more than you will rely on anything worldly or yourself. You only can do so much by yourself. Let alone you only can do so much with your worldly friends. How's somebody worldly gonna help you with something internal? How? They not even internally okay. How you gonna let somebody who's still living their life of corruption and devastation and I mean toxicity try to heal you? How you gonna have them try to heal you and you trying to evolve into a person you trying to be? How can two people walk on the same?
Oh, everything I will. I was looking for that. That's why I looked over here. I'm like, where's it at, bro?
Bro, go ahead. You see what I mean? We're twins. How can two people? How can two? What is that? Amos.
Amos 2 is it 2:1? 2:2? You gotta look it up. You gotta look it up. It's almost or Amos 2. How can two people agree? How can two people walk the same direction without agreeing on the right path? Or what is it? It's how can two people? Bro, I promise you, I was looking for it, bro. As soon as you said it, I'm like, bro, it's how can how can two people walk the same direction without agreeing on how
can two people walk together without agreeing on the destination or the direction? How? You tell me how. You tell me how. If you giving your life to Jesus, you want an answer. You know what this life come with, or maybe you don't, but you get an idea and you're trying to get saved. You don't want to hurt anymore. You're tired of the same worldly ideals and the same worldly, like the world gave you. The world doesn't love you. The world has its own version of love, and that's what? Lust, right?
Oh yeah.
It doesn't everything fleshly. Yeah. Our flesh loves to lust.
Yeah.
That's our flesh's version of love. It's lust. So the world gives you these things, and at the end of it all, it creates it as your identity, and then it gives it to you. So how you gonna be with a person that ran with that identity and they make it my authentic self? Meanwhile, you trying to grow with Jesus. How they gonna help you?
Oh, tag me in. All right, look, it's like your identity. It's tying into that verse, and that verse can mean a lot. It can even tie into a relationship or like when it comes to friends. I noticed like, and it's not like trying to come down on people. But how you're sometimes we prolong our blessings due to other people that's not supposed to be in our life. Instead of you devoted and you relying on him more, you relying on this person that's in your life that's not supposed to be in there. So guess what? You're moving backwards. You unhappy. You feel this burden in your heart all the time. You feel this twist and turn in your spirit because guess what? You relying on somebody that's not him, that's not supposed to be in your life. And then it's like you delaying your blessings. Instead of you getting that new job, new car, whatever it is, instead of you getting this opportunity, instead of you just being at peace, you with somebody who's bringing you to destruction. Because you guys aren't aligned. You guys aren't, even if it's not just a covenant, you guys aren't aligned with what he has for you. You trying to move one step in closer to him, but this person is not. This person is bringing you back. But yeah, y'all together at that level, but that's not the level you want to be at. You talked about elevating you with this person who is complacent or whatever the case may be. So it's like and that's where it comes to identity. Your identity also comes with who you are and what you want, and which you spoke about, what you pray for, what you cast, like all those things. Like your identity, you can't be afraid. And the Bible says, "Do not be afraid." What is it, Isaiah? It says it all over, but what is it, Isaiah
The one that be
50?
afraid.
Do not be afraid. Don't 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 let people steer you away. Don't, oh, you too young, or oh, you still a baby, you got time. Don't believe that, because what's a couple months, a couple years of suffering into eternal heaven, or eternal the fruits of your labor, like all those different things. Like who?
Isaiah
Isaiah 51, or is it Isaiah 50?
41.
Ooh, I'm on it. I'm telling you, I'm on it. I mean, but anyways, like, don't be afraid. Like, even with me, like my identity before, it was somebody who I wasn't. I mean, yeah, you can say I was misunderstood, which I think I was, but at the same time, it's like I let people choose for me. I let people live for me. I was I was that person to where when it came to everybody else's dreams, yeah, I'm there for it, but I had nothing of myself. I didn't want to do anything but be robbing the people. And it's not a bad thing, but it's like my identity was built on other people's lives to where I didn't know what I wanted. And when I was like, you know what, I started living for God. I can't live for anybody else, but when I live for God, I can only serve one master. I can't serve people in the world. When I started living for God, guess what he did? Since you living for me, I'm gonna show you who you are
Hmm.
and what I have for you and what you want. This farm, these kids, this lifestyle. What is that? I don't know what this is. Who is this? This is who you are. This is who I had you to be. Because when it's all said and done, and you know the angels are reading who you were supposed to be. Oh, this is when you serve me, I'm gonna show you who you are and what you want and what you pray to me about. But when you serve this person, you can only be that person.
Mm. Mm.
Like, you back in.
Ooh. What? What did you just say
When you
at
serve
the end?
when you serve that person, you can only be that person.
What? What? No. Okay, I got a question.
He said 15 minutes. Yeah.
No, this is good clip because
Hey, no, look, you know
we can
me.
clip it and stuff. And since you got Instagram, why not? Okay. In your moment, because we're never gonna stop evolving. We're never gonna stop growing. So in your time of evolving with Jesus, right? For Jesus,
Yeah.
what's one of the struggles that you still go through to this day that you don't mind sharing that he is still working you through, or that he's working you through right now?
That's a good question.
It can be a form of an insecurity. It can be something that you're just simply not good at, not there yet, not quite there yet. It can be something internal. It could be depression. It could be literally anything.
That's a good question. So I'll start off with the basics, the fruits of the spirit, right? And then also for whoever's watching this, if you or a man, you know, like, for example, to be Ephesians 5 man, right? So Ephesians 5 talks about men with dignity, men with courage, men who, you know, treat their wives the way they're supposed to be treated, all these different things. Like, I'll say for me, especially of how I grew up, not saying I grew up like just mistreating women, but it's like how I grew up in the world, because the world raised me for a moment. It's certain things to where it's patience, for example, like with me being in a relationship, it's teaching me more patience of how to nurture, how to, and that's things that God was teaching me, and me like learning from him, like just how to nurture one another. You just learn that from being a believer and just follow. You learn how to nurture. You learn how to have patience. You learn how to forgive. You learn how to all these things. And every day, like even relying on your own understanding. I'm a stubborn person. I can admit that. There are times to where I have to like sometimes stay still. Like peace be still. I can't I don't think. I don't pray in that moment. I just sit still because I know that if I act out of my own accord, something that was supposed to happen next week ain't gonna happen to a couple months because I'm holding myself back. So I'll say that, and I'll also say like comparison.
Mm.
I'll say comparison, and it's not to say like, oh, it's a comparison motivation type thing. Like I know what life I want, and I crave it, and I pray for it. But a lot of times it's like I see people or I see things. I'm like, I should have been did that. Like I should have. I know because I know who I am. I know my mindset, and I know that even though it hasn't happened yet, God already said it was gonna happen because it wouldn't be a vision of mine. It wouldn't be in my head. It wouldn't be in my spirit. So it's like a lot of times it's trying to rush things, or sometimes it's being in comparison when it's like you got to run your own race. You know what I'm saying? Like who just because this person got this don't mean that yours ain't coming. Your blessing ain't coming. You have to stop watching. It's like pocket watching. You got to stop blessing watching.
Mm.
You feel me? Like you got to stop. Let's say whatever is going on in your life, whatever you seeking right now, just because it happened to somebody else doesn't mean that God forgot you. I have to tell myself that all the time because what God hasn't gave me yet, He provided me in a different form. He probably something probably got taken away from me, but guess what? He gave me the opportunity to get it back or get something tenfold from that. And that's like and that's even why I'm even doing this, man, because it's like I'm learning so much stuff within a season of stillness. You have to be still in a certain moment. You can't be forced to, okay, I haven't it's been 2 weeks since this happened. Let me just you know what I'm saying? Like, no. Like you have to be still because if you are quick to do things yourself, you gon' you gon' just what's the point of following him? Like we can't what does it say in Job? Like, do you have control of the stars and the sea and the tide? Like you don't have control of nothing. So why overwork yourself? Why over worry? Why over stress? Why over consume in something that's not even yours yet?
Mm.
Or why over consume yourself in a world when you don't belong there anyway? We're just here. But what about you?
Mm.
What about you?
I think one of the things that God is working me through in terms of something I struggle with out of many is I'm shut down when I'm not heard or I'm misunderstood. And that's mainly a feeling of like feeling like a burden. Like whenever I feel like I'm misheard or I feel like see the old me, I probably would have crashed out, really, like realistically. But I think due to how I grew up, um, because I was a crash out, I always crashed out for being misunderstood or not quite heard. And because I haven't been heard for a long time, it's like it was almost like sadness ignored, but my anger was punished. So now that
Sadness ignored,
ignored, but
anger
anger
punished.
punished. So now that I'm angry and I'm letting out my emotions the only way I know how due to how I'm being raised, really, whether it's due to an emotional side of a family or a very furious side of the family. However, and I'm mixing both of those to get my point across. Now I'm getting punished is like eventually you get older, you get tired of it, really. So now when it comes to relationships, whether they're romantic or platonic or whatever the case may be, now when you don't hear it, you kind of just like, now you just keep your mouth shut to avoid even being misunderstood or to avoid being a burden or to avoid like, and I can even go as far as asking people for help for stuff. You know, I don't even like receiving help because why am I being, and this goes on actually a lot in the black community. We no one, you don't really, nobody care about that. It's a boy, go outside and play. Boy, you thinking too much. Boy, you whatever. Like if I'm calling out for help, crying out for help, and all I get is an argument about myself, then I'm not going to be able to really alliterate myself. Like I'm not gonna be able to feel okay. I'm not gonna be able. I'm gonna be depressed, and the only way for me to express my depression is due to how I got treated when I expressed it that I was that. And if every time I get, and I start expressing that, I get like you don't care or you just don't want to understand or whatever the case may be, something along the lines of that, I'm going to eventually just shut down. I'm going to shut down. You're not going to really hear from me. Like, I will disappear. And I think I have an isolation problem because of that. I will isolate the mess out of myself. And it actually talks about
It's in
isolation
the
in the
Bible.
Bible.
Yep.
What is this?
It says like
Is this
isolation.
Old Testament too?
I believe so. It talks like isolation allows the enemy to interfere or something like that. I have to look at it 1 second. You keep talking. I'm gonna
Yeah,
find it.
but I have a really big isolation problem. I can't really, whenever I feel like I'm not heard or I feel like a burden or like I just get in these moods where like I just want to be alone. And instead of taking free time that you need just to regroup and feel like you again, I'll go weeks without saying nothing to nobody. Like I'll go like couple weeks, 3 weeks, and everybody like, Xavier, where you at? And I'm like nowhere to be found. Like, and I think that's one of the biggest things God is working through me. Um, because, people do care. We may not always feel it, but people do care about you, and I guess that's where community come in at. Like being alone ain't really a bad thing, but being alone on your own accord kind of can cause destruction and chaos. And I don't think people deserve chaos in their own mind unless they're intentionally trying to battle them to get better, not to be alone because you feel alone and you're depressed or whatever the case may be. I don't think that's right at all. I think it's valid, but I don't think it's smart. And that's what I do. That's like wrong.
I can't find it. I know which one you're talking about though. 'Cause you said it to me before. I was isolated Our suffering helps us comfort others who are suffering.
Time for another question. From my old poetry. Here.
I had something off on
Do you need that?
the charger. I'll do it.
Yeah, I can't find it.
Hey. Call it a day. Well, that's the end of the video. Probably gonna edit a lot of this stuff, but I'll keep the end in. Um, this is a quick message. We can leave it off with a quick message. If you had just one piece of advice for anybody in any season right now, what would you say? If you want,
Everything happens. Everything happens for the good of those who love and trust the Lord, who are called to His purpose. Another message that I have is it's okay to be misunderstood. You are just a young man like us, or a young woman like our women, um, who are wandering the wilderness to find life with Jesus. And not everybody's going to understand that. Um, find your people. Find people who will love you with every ounce of love, like Jesus loves us, and stick by those people and don't run away from them. Let them love you, let them help you, whether that is somebody that wants to be with you and they're trying to show you Christ, or you have a group of friends who want to show you Christ and love you that way, or you got someone out there who's praying for you and you just have to have an open heart to receive it. Whatever case may be, find your people, open your eyes, open your heart. Um, and I pray that y'all receive. I pray that y'all got ears to hear, a heart to receive, and a mind to obey. And when y'all find y'all people, pray that it's very full of love, holding each other accountable, and being very encouraging. Because without love, we are nothing at all. Lauryn Hill said, without the power of God, she feels completely inadequate. And I would even go as far as say, without Jesus' love, um, we are completely inadequate. So find your people, operate out of love, and live that and express that with everybody and everything you come in contact with. What about you?
that's fire. I agree. But I just want to say at first, no discipline is enjoyable. While it is happening, it's painful. But afterwards, there will be a peaceful harvest of right living for those who are trained in this way. It's not easy. There's moments of weakness. There's a season to sorrow. There's a season to enjoy. There's seasons, right? There's seasons to weep, to plant, all those different things. It's a season for everything. Don't think that the season you in now is just going to be your entire journey. You know, take heart of the season you in, and thank God that you in this season, because He's trying to show you some wisdom, and I guarantee you the wisdom that you learn throughout your journey is incredible. Sometimes I used to be like, oh, bro, I don't want to know this stuff, bro. Like it hurts too much to know. But when you seek wisdom and you receive it, it's a wonderful feeling sharing it, even though it comes from all the same source. So just remember that the situation you in is not permanent, that you are strong, you are courageous, that you can do anything through Christ who strengthens you. And I know that anybody who's listening to this can always rely on Him. You can always rely on Him, because He has never forsaken me or him, and He will never forsake any of us. And that's it. God bless.